morning. As we have met here on times prior, the Harris County Sheriff's Office Cold Case Squad has been on the prowl and has been clearing cases and bringing closure to tragedies that have affected families here in the Harris County community, and making sure that justice is brought, that they have brought justice to these families and to our community. So I'm so proud of Detective Clegg, Detective Hokie, with our cold case squad. The announcement that I'm making today brings their success rate to 9 cases. They have filed and closed 9 successful, previously unsolved homicide cases, but today they also add to it a sexual assault, an aggravated sexual assault case that occurred in 2002. So here are the circumstances, and let me introduce other partners who are here with us today. The Assistant District Attorney for the Harris County District Attorney's Office, Catherine McDaniel, is here with us this morning. And we also have Lieutenant Rolf Nelson, who is Lieutenant over our Homicide Division. Our cold case squad has brought a murder charge in a 2002 case involving one Steve Hobbs, the same person who some of our detectives, other detectives in our homicide, on the other homicide area of the Sheriff's Office, have charged with a capital murder in a 2010 case. Now, Hobbs is already in jail where he belongs. Now he stands accused of killing 2 women, 8 years apart, and he has been charged by the Pasadena Police Department with aggravated assault, and as I mentioned, we are bringing the charge of a 2002 aggravated sexual assault and kidnapping charges against by 3 women who survived the attacks this year. So you're talking a span of criminal activity, regretfully most recently, but this guy had been thinking that no one was going to catch him, and the Sheriff's Office cold case squad was able to make sure to bring the pieces together. Our investigation continues, and I'm making sure that our detectives get the support and the resources they need to carry this investigation as far as it needs to go. And we'll be working with any other law enforcement agency that may find some points of common interest in this case. At this point, I'd like to introduce Lieutenant Rolf Nelson to provide other details of this investigation. Lieutenant.
Good morning. There's a lot of cases involved here, and by a lot, I mean we've got 2 murders that we know of for sure. The sexual assault from 2002, that's notwithstanding the cases with the other agencies. The 2002 case came to light when we had a DNA match in the 2010 investigation. That homicide, or the murder of Sarah Sanford, occurred October 1st, or her body was found October 1st of last year. Through the processing of that scene, we were able to recover DNA. That DNA was uploaded into CODIS. That DNA matched the DNA that was recovered from evidence from that 2002 murder on Patricia Pyatt. We had those 2 matches of DNA, but it was an unknown DNA. So we're still conducting both investigations. Cold case is looking at the 02 case, and then we had an active homicide squad that was working on the 2010 case. When we had a female go missing in Harris County, that was Wanda Trombley. She was reported missing July of this year. A body was recovered in Pasadena a couple of months later, and that body was tentatively identified as Wanda Trombley. When we found that out, we started backtracking with some of the area prostitutes because it was reported that Wanda Trombley was mixed up in that circle. They got information from them. They gave us, the prostitutes that were interviewed gave information to the investigators that the suspect was a very large white male, red hair, very distinctive. One of our investigators, when he heard about the Pasadena recovery of Wanda Trombley, he went out to the area. He noticed a business close by, and he thought, yeah, there's probably security guards at work there. So he went to the business, started talking, found out there were security guards there, got the company information, went to the security company, started talking to the owners of that company or managers. They said, yeah, we do have a large guy, red hair, very large white male. The investigator then determined that he wanted to start getting DNA swabs from all of the security guards that worked in that area for this company. One of those being Mr. Hobbs, Stephen Hobbs. He got that DNA swab, submitted that to the medical examiner's office, and a couple weeks later we got a match from the DNA from Mr. Hobbs, matched the DNA for both the 02 case and the 10 case that was recovered on evidence. Once that determination was made, he was already in jail on some Pasadena charges. We filed a capital murder for the 10 case, and then the investigators have been working this last week and a half, tying up everything for the 02 case, making sure that there was a very good solid link with that DNA between Stephen Hobbs and that 02 murder, and there was. They were also, through the course of that 02 case, they were able to link a 2002 aggravated sexual assault that occurred about a week away from that murder. They were able to get that linked, contact that complainant. She picked Stephen Hobbs out of a photo spread as being the man who attacked her. That's where we are now. Any questions? I know it's very complicated.
You got two murders 10 years apart. What does that make you? What does that tell you about Mr. Hobbs? What does that lead you?
Stephen Hobbs is a predator. He's been a predator for at least a decade. I mean, we know that from the cases that we've gotten linked to now. So we're looking at everything several years before and after, just to see if there's anything else that he fits in.
Do you know how many cases you're going through right now?
I've moved 2 extra investigators temporarily back to cold case. I've got 2 investigators in cold case, but they've got a volume of cases back there. So to speed the process, I've temporarily moved 2 additional investigators back there just to help them cull through the cases to see what other cases may be linked, and then they can give those to the regular cold case investigators to follow up on.
How far back are you going?
Do you expect more charges?
At this point, we're looking at cases right now. We're trying to determine if there are any other cases. If there are cases, of course, there'll be charges, but right now we haven't identified any other cases. Besides the 2002 case, both the murder and the sexual assault, and then the 2010.
Do any others look promising?
We're still going through those cases.
Have you talked to him? Have you talked to him? What is his demeanor about all this?
Investigators briefly talked to him, but we couldn't get any information from him after he was already arrested by Pasadena.
What was his MO?
We're going back about 15 years right now. Yes.
What was his MO? You know about how many cases roughly? 20 cases, more than 20?
I wouldn't want to speculate on a number. It's more than 20.
This guy's a serial killer?
He's killed 2 women that we know of. That from everything that we can see on the surface, those 2 women were unrelated. The only common factor between the 2 women is what they did for a living and the circles that they ran in on the east side of Arizona.
What does that mean? Doesn't that fit the pattern of serial killer?
In my opinion, yes.